Good to go, Steve?
Yep, good now.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's 5:30. We will call the city council meeting for February 15th to order. Those present will stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. In the house are Councilwoman Kokoli, Councilman Howard, Councilman Merja, Rich Lesky, Deputy Clerk Frauenfelter, Councilman Merja, and Melody from the Acantha. Online is Councilman Doyakos and
Howdy.
Josh from Municode, and we'll come to him in just a minute. I do not believe there's anybody else out there online, so.
No.
First item on our agenda tonight would be the approval of the minutes from our city council meeting on 1 February.
So moved.
I move approval of the minutes.
And I had a motion from Councilman Merja,
Second.
a second from Councilman D. Any corrections or additions? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Councilwoman Kokoli.
I'll be out of state February 16th through the 26th.
Heading home.
Heading to West Virginia.
Heading to the
I
hall.
think I've lived here about twice as long as I lived there.
But there's a song about West Virginia.
And the country roads.
Exactly.
Getting them.
Anybody else going to be out of town? Or
Nope.
out of state, I mean? Okay,
Not intentionally.
yeah. Councilman D, I will be in March for a meeting possibly. So I'll let you know as we get closer to that.
Our first
Acknowledged.
meeting March is on the 1st.
Yeah, we'll go March, we go 1 and
15.
yeah, and I'm supposed to be in New Orleans coming home that day. So we'll see.
Okay.
You know how it is getting into Great Falls in the afternoon, so. Next thing up on the agenda would be a discussion and possible vote on Municode, and Councilman D, I'm going to turn this over to you and Josh.
Yep.
Josh, we may have some questions along the way, so bear with us.
So the short version is, and I'll kind of defer most of my time over to Josh. The short version is we're currently using Sterling's Sterling codifiers, or their whatever their new iteration is called. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's expensive. American Legal, thank you. It's relatively expensive, and we don't have a ton of access to do the stuff we want to do. It takes kind of quite a bit of time for them to act on our changes. We hold back to add our new ordinances, to kind of batch them all at once to save money. Municode has some options that will, once it's up and running, will give us a little more flexibility and let us kind of self-serve to get stuff kind of up to date and moving a little bit quicker than what we're doing currently. And with that, I'll turn over to you, Josh, to just kind of give us a rundown on what our options are. And then after that, I plan to make a motion to accept one of the options.
Thank you. So, and again, I go by JR, but that is perfectly fine. I just want to point out that with the two code hosting options that Steve and I have discussed previously, we're mostly focusing today on the self-publishing software. Steve, Phil, go ahead and correct me if that is not the case. So I'm primarily going to focus that on the proposal. Just know both code hosting options, you guys are not stuck with anything. So if you do decide at a later point in time to switch over, you are more than welcome and able to move from self-publishing over to Municode next. Key thing I'd like you guys to consider and discuss are what are the two significant differences between the two services. Self-publishing is the newer one that is catering to the clerk's point of view, where you guys have absolute control of your code in real time, meaning we cut out the supplementation process. That being said, I have shown Steve already in a demo before, and it also includes training with the pricing you see here for those that need to be involved in the change of ordinance amendments and or changes that take place within the code, on how quickly and adequately you can adjust and make the changes to your code in real time going through your governing processes. The point is that I'm making is that if you decide to go with this newer route to speed everything up and have a flat rate pricing model, this is an option that allows you to do so. The alternative is similar to what you guys are currently using, where it does have a supplementation service, but our turnaround time for supplement requests are physical for print, 30 to 35 days on average. You retain an account manager, a team of editors and proofreaders that are also state specific to your guys' region. And then we also update your digital for you, which is about anywhere between 5 to 15 days, depending on the size of it. And we can put you on a schedule. The perk about that is that you will know what you're getting as soon as you send us that supplement request. No changes to your code will take place until we receive that, and then you'll have a 24-hour notification that we did receive it. Follow from that, any ordinances that we do receive, say it happens, a resolution finds its way into the code that you're trying to update. Normally that's not going to be impacting anything that deals with those ordinance and changes take place. We'll notify you guys. You'll only be charged per page. From that point, once we have it updated and ready to go, then you guys have access for both your community and you yourselves to go ahead and print directly from your online source. And then we send back to you within those 30 plus days, the physical prints and what to update and change out of your book. So today's focus will be self-publishing. So if I can actually have Steve, you go to the other one, please.
JR, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
How many in Montana do you guys do now?
Currently, let me pull that up. Do not know.
And I know I'm leading on because there's people that are going to ask this question out there. I'm so.
No, that's perfectly fine. In Montana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, Steve, if I could steal your screen real quick, I can actually show you guys.
Should be yours.
Thank you, sir. All right. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is the Municode website. So just to show you guys where I found this at. Again, we merged with Civic Plus. Here is the old website that is connected now with their new host. Click on Learn More. Code Library. Feel free to browse all 4,200 municipalities we currently host. Montana. Here's everybody right now that we're currently hosting. That's up and live.
So we would not be the first.
No.
No, but
And of these,
you'd be
JR, how
amongst
many,
good company.
yeah, of these, JR, how many are self-publishing? Or how new is that?
Self-publishing has been around just for a few years, so it's slowly catching on. The reason why it's taking such good paces, and I actually have these up for you as well, Steve.
Oh, perfect.
Based on this page right here, and again, this is self-publishing. It's a flat rate fee. There's no supplementation cost. What you currently have with American Legal and with our standard format is a per page rate. This is the fluctuation that we as codifiers cannot help determine on your guys' behalf as you send us a supplement every year. And depending on how what I refer to as supplement happy or not, how many changes take place within the code each year, it's kind of hard to predict and say, hey, at least for our budgets, we know what we're paying online, but what is it going to be when we send in the supplement? So I actually sent Steve 2 updates today. So we have the self-publishing that is also a flat rate fee because there's no supplementation fee in there. I have also sent him an updated Municode Next proposal as we just released our flat rate pricing for supplementation as well. So regardless of how many pages you have throughout the year, there's a pricing model in that you can forecast because it's not going to count on a per page count anymore. So that's going to null and void the old one I originally sent you guys that did have a per page rate. That being said, when you look at the majority of people right now in Montana, a lot of them are using the full service. I can look up and get the exact details on how many for self-publishing, but it seems to be more a traditional sense in your guys' area. The reason why self-publishing works so well is because instantly in real time, as we're talking, let's say for an example, we're discussing changes taking place to an ordinance and we're on the final reading. We're coming to a conclusion of what we want to do. I've already shown Steve in the system on how in real time we can go into the code working out of our proposed mode and quite literally make a change instantly with the click of a button. I've shown them how the governing process, and I'm just doing a quick cliff notes because I want to make sure I respect you guys' time. I've shown them in the processes of how we can add council members' names, presiding officers' names and signatures. I've showed them in the process on how you can do a digital update and or change the system over to where if you need a physical signature to print the document of change and to provide that physical signature and upload into the system. We've shown on how the passage can be added and go through the governing processes to make real changes in real time as we're talking right now, possibly about an ordinance. So that cuts out that whole process of, hey, did my account manager receive this? Hey, did the supplement team get this? And do we know where we're at? Because everything discussed can be updated in real time. Just in this, we've also shown Steve how you can do a live mode change for any supportive content outside the code if you guys elected to go forward with what we call an additional publication. And then there might be some things that don't need to go through its governing processes, but why wait to have it turn around and updated when you guys yourselves can update it right then and there on the spot? So this is a preface of what it looks like. The general public would see it, and I'll show you an actual live version of this. Good, Mr. Oceano. So here's our municipal resolutions. We would consider this an additional publication. Here's our code of ordinance. This is what the public sees. This is an actual live site. Type in the Word documents. Left-hand side is the code book that they have. Body of the contents is there. Our searches come up and we can quickly just start extracting the information as we go through. With what you're seeing in real time is that each section of the code is opening up based on my word search and choices, my exact phrasing and or my loose matches based on the definition of that word. We can also add additional ordinances and or resolutions and take what you already have, upload it for you. And then as you guys have changes, we'll show you behind the scenes on how to go ahead and edit these and link these between the publications and the contents of the code itself. So when we go into that management side, that is the reason why self-publishing is starting to pick up a lot of traction for the clerks, because beforehand, they really never had any in-house options to currently go with their workflow processes, but have you guys all collaborate under one system. This now allows you to do that. That better address your question.
That, you know, you took care of it. And I guess from my standpoint here, I believe our crew is technologically advanced enough, especially along with some coaching to get this done. And the speed at which it could get done to me seems better than what government works slow enough as it is. Let's just leave it at that.
So for what it's worth, Mr. Mayor, I have talked to a couple other entities, municipalities that are similar to our size. So Townsend, Twin Bridges, spoke both to their clerk and their attorney, had nothing but rave reviews on both sides, both municipalities, and kind of both from the attorney side and from the clerk side. I believe Twin Bridges is self-serve, if I understand the email correctly, and they said it was, I would probably say that Jody and Tom, you, Mr. Mayor, myself, the rest of the council are savvy enough to be able to use this and do some good work.
Steve, Councilman Howard shaking his head no vehemently.
Yeah, I heard the groan.
No. Okay.
So I guess my question would be to you to start, Tom. If this falls to you and Jody, you guys have time.
Yeah.
Okay.
The answer to that is yes and no, depending upon what day of the week.
Well, and I
it is.
would point
Well,
out that they
and
have to
that's-
build the resolutions in conjunction with Jen anyway. So that is already happening. It's not additional work. This is just simplifying the process in terms of, once we pass an ordinance, it's no longer waiting for updates and all that. It actually takes a step out. I would say it probably eliminates some time for them.
Well, so I guess then my question to you, JR, is, so if we build a resolution, can we build a resolution in your software and then just pull it in we can do that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
If time permits, can I show you guys a quick crash course?
What's that?
If time permits today, can I show you guys a quick crash course on how fast and easy you can actually go through and make a change to any ordinance?
I'll give you 5.
Sounds good. All right, keep in mind, I've done quite a bit of silliness with this because this is not someone's actual code. This is my demo site. And let's just be honest, code is code. If I can get you guys to laugh, it's been a good day for everybody. So I've already shown you this within the preface. First thing I would like to address, when we do the training with you guys, depending on who needs to be involved in the training, and we recommend anybody that has a hand in any changes to the ordinance and the process of those changes be a part of that training. We will then put in the preface the link of what we train for you guys in-house, so you have access to it at all times from the admin screen. From there, let's just say if I want to go ahead and make a change to municipal procedures. So this is live mode. I can do any changes right then and there, but technically we know we need to go through the governing processes. But in real time, I can make that change. If I need to go through my standard processes of change, I can go ahead and create a brand new to-do list. See, I've already used that. So then we're going to do edit A. The system's letting you know you've already titled something of such, so it won't let you repeat or duplicate it. You also notice that in proposed mode, I have several different versions of this. So if I was 7 different people, I know what edit I'm working on within the code, and I'm not overlapping somebody else because we can all collaborate and work together out of this. I no longer have to be in the office. I can just log in from wherever I'm at and take care of it. From there, the pencil lets you know that you're in edit form. So as soon as I start making changes here, you're going to see the edit right there. So we're going to mess around with this section and we're going to make a change here. Anything that I add will be in green. Anything that was previously added that I erased would be struck out in red, showing my red line. Here, we edit in the same way that we do in a Word doc and a PDF. It's just a full-blown system out of one option. We can do our title, our sizes, our fonts, our numbering. We can even link details. So it's going to be ADA compliant. So if I just, for whatever reason, wanted to go ahead and link this section for Montana within my ordinance and or resolution for online use, I can do that. Change the name. Now, because it's ADA compliant, if I don't put in a description, it's not going to make the change. It won't allow me to do so. Done. All right, if I want to do the same thing with adding a picture, image, or graph, I can pull for my stuff. And obviously you'll see some silliness here, which I do not mind, because again, it's code. Hey, let's see JR being really serious, because I'm in a serious mood. Voila, I've now made my beautiful mug into your guys' code. And just like that, adding the ADA compliance. If I need to go ahead and add any of those Excel drop sheets or any of those borders that everybody just loves working with, I have the option to do so. And just like an Excel spreadsheet, click on the box. Now you can start working in real time and adding the details and or pasting, copying the content you need. Once we've made that change in the update, I can go ahead and leave it in edit form. So let's just say we're on a reading and we don't agree to these changes. I can click this button and it'll click right back to its standard format before I made any changes. No issues taken there. If I need to go ahead and provide and clear the formatting, I can restart, or even if the IT needs the source code, it's available to you guys. So we've made the change to the ordinance there. Good to go. I've already shown you in this screen, we've added our representation. So if I have too many people on council, I can go ahead and add it and keep it to where I need to be at. We can add your guys' signature and the state seal. You're good to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and create a document. System says this is not an error. Again, I've used this somewhere within the code. So it will not let me duplicate my process in my numbering system. It thinks it's an ordinance. Well, it could be a resolution. So that's where I change it there. I can add my short titles, my long titles, recitals. So if I need to put a whereas clause, I can add those details in the content. We can add all the details we're looking at. It's an amendment to something that's already currently in place, but it could be a correction, a repeal and a reenactment. If we're not sure, click on the drop down. There's our changes we've made to this document.
So we can repeal as well. If we take something off the books, we can repeal as well.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so if I need to put the repealer clause, the severability clause, effective date, or add any other extra content under the clauses, I can add that just by clicking in this section. To save us time, I'm going to go ahead and show the prior content. So what we started off with, what I've added, I want to show it on that document. Keep it in colored, and we're going to show the full ordinance. Now I'm creating that document. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and log into my email. And in real time, the system is saying, hey, we're making edits and changes. That was from a prior demo. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. So as those changes are taking place, there's our pencil to let you know behind the scenes you're in edit format under 215A. Once that is all said and done, the document is now created. Well, it's still creating, and it'll be a PDF. The thing that I like about this is that with that PDF, just like you guys created your packets today, putting everything together on the agenda, say it's a last minute change. In real time, it's sitting in the edited form. So even though we have the PDF, Steve or anybody else can go ahead and log in as we're talking right now, and they can go back and just reduplicate what I changed. Just like that. Remove, update, and they're good to go. I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to do that just yet. But now that we have the PDF that's already created, here's what's been added. There's the state reference link that's now available. There's my silly picture. There's our table. And yet here's the content for passing and adopting this ordinance. It's already created. That can now go on the agenda. From that point there, I'm now going to go ahead into the document creator, or excuse me, I'm now going to go ahead and pass the legislation as such because we've already created the document. You can post date this. So if you want to put it out in the future, you can. The system will remain until that date hits, but at least you have the document showing the changes have been made. For today, we're going to do it right now. They said yes, and C was absent. We have our votes. We can include the certificate of passage and any other additional detail we've already provided. Send to download. System's now saying, hey, we're going through our governing processes. We're going to make some updates online, but it's still not showing to the public just yet. So we've already seen how the document is created there. Now it's reflecting the system's automatically updating. This level has been changed by edits 215 as a proposal, letting the company and letting the general folks know, hey, something's coming through the pipeline. Soon you'll actually see some edits and change and timestamps at the very bottom of this document once we approve it. All right, document's been created. Here I already have an email. So you, Mayor, you could be actually abroad. Like you said, you're going out of state here shortly. Few of you are also leaving, but you guys can also connect through Zoom. These edits are being done over line. You don't have to be in the council chamber anymore. If you're more comfortable with it, view the document, see the votes are changed, come right back here to your email, adopt with the first signature. Now the system is updating. We have the A-OK to do so. Excellent. I'm going to close that out and I'm going to wait here, and then my email is going to update again. And then we're going to wait for the final signature.
Mel, do you see any issues with this?
Seems like it'd be a lot more flexible. Maybe it's costly.
JR Mel is our local newspaper editor. That's who he's talking to. She's our local sunlight and transparency and
Yes.
government
Very cool.
advocate. Yeah.
So if I understand correctly, and Mel, correct me if I'm wrong, usually they have what, about 48 hours to get you the changes of the document to any changes proposed that have been adopted to you, so therefore it can be posted to the general public. Do I have that correct?
Agendas have to be set at least 48 hours in advance, but because we're a weekly newspaper, the city council works with us to make sure that, for example, notice ordinance changes that need noticing are placed well in advance.
Well in advance.
Of the hearing, so that we meet statutory timelines that are set up in Montana state law.
Did you catch
So
all that,
that-
JR?
I kind of heard it.
So the short version is by law, 48-hour notice. Because they're a weekly newspaper, we get it in ahead of time so that we can get into our paper, and basically that.
So Mel, then they could send you the PDF right here because it's already printed. So if they had to do a physical signature, they could print off right here, sign away, send it to you, and then they can upload it into the system. I just skipped it because I was given 5 minutes. But the point I'm getting across is the system can do both a digital signature and a physical signature if required. You have, as a user, able to do that, and they can get you the PDF document of the changes that have taken place to your office. So therefore you can go and stay within state statutes and not run into those issues. So you have full transparency still that way, because in real time, once we've updated the code, for whatever reason, my system is just crashing right now because my email hasn't come through. There it is. Now we have authority approved. That same document that we signed on the last screen is now showing all the signatures required. So all that's left is to say, hey, do I approve this change to happen in real time? And in this scenario, yes, I do. So again, click of a button in my email, the code has now updated in real time. That we have just passed. Ordinance has been adopted as such. We have the approvals needed through our governing processes, and we're good to move forward. So we're a little over 5 minutes, but in a crash course, that's what self-publishing can do in real time.
And we've got some training that would come along with this, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
On average, it's about 3 or 4 days, and we set it up to your guys' schedule. But really, you don't need to go much further than that, because if you guys know how to draft and use Word doc anyways, and or use PDFs, it's just an exploded version of what that can do under one system.
Okay. Councilman D, the floor is yours.
All right, I move that we authorize the mayor to sign the contract with Unicode for the self-publishing system.
And what's the cost? It's the one that, okay, $1,200 a year.
Is that right, JR? 1,200 a year for the self-publishing?
That is correct. So what we
Okay.
ended up doing is that we waived the conversion fee for you guys. We have all the ordinances that are up here to 315 pass of 5/19/2020. And then you would be on a 3-year contract with this. If you guys, for whatever reason, felt that it wasn't the right fit, or if you ended up saying, I just don't have enough time, then we could talk about converting over to MuniCode next and the traditional service. So you guys would not be locked in just to one thing. You still have options, but again, that you usually see that after a year and a half or two.
Okay.
If that does run into a scenario.
We're using American Legal and it's nothing like this.
And what is
And it's
that?
really hard to search is a big factor for me who does believe in the transparency. It's hard to find stuff.
Mhm.
I don't know the cost offhand.
I
Are
can,
we kind of comparing apples to oranges though? It's comparing.
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
Our
Yes, that
last
would be a
con-
fair assessment because American Legal does not offer, to my knowledge, a self-publishing solution. They are a very
Yeah.
traditional codifier, which would mimic our traditional service of what we've been in business for 70 years. But in compared to transparency to what you see, and Steve, you know what it looks like. I'll actually show you a live version of what MuniCode Next looks like.
Yeah.
And this is a live
We're
account.
nowhere close to this, and we're more than this. And to be honest with you, when we did the conversion and they went to the new carrier, if Jody hadn't kept her eyes on the things, they would have billed us for 4 times what it actually cost. So we had approved it, send the warrants out, and then they'd come back and say, well, you haven't paid this, and Jody get on the phone and say, oh, yeah, we have, oh, you must have got lost in the, they've not been user-friendly at all.
And this is a live site. I just pulled up Boulder, Colorado, because I usually use them on my demos anyways, but this is their actual code site. So if I were to just click on Title 2 here, this would be apples to apples compared to what American Legal has. So you guys know how your word search works currently. So let's just say I'm going to use the word dog.
Ah,
There are no
First setup.
dogs in Choteau.
First setup, this will be your search page. You can search and connect through. And then you can jump in and browse through. The one thing that we are anticipating, thanks to COVID delaying so much, like so many have all gone through, what you see here for the look and feel from the viewer's point on MuniCode Next eventually will reflect MuniCode self-publishing. So what the admins will see from where you and I would work out of will be this screen. But what the public would see, hopefully this update takes place during the summertime. Do not quote me on that just yet, but we are expected to launch it then. You guys would actually see it from the citizen's perspective under this format.
Look at that screen. Okay.
And what is the cost for MuniCode Max? If we decide we're just overwhelmed,
The updated on MuniCode Next that I provided Steve,
yeah,
and again, this is also including the conversion of your zoning.
Mhm.
Again, no charge conversion. This section right here says $20 per page if you had any outdated materials that were adopted that need to be added into the code after the grace period, which can be discussed here, section 5. But it would be a 0 conversion if everything was up front once we got it. Then your supplementation service is the question to ask. Depending on what you guys do for supplementation, you can actually look at what you've paid in American Legal every time you sent them something and then compare it here in the pricing.
Mhm.
This is a brand new model, so it doesn't matter how many pages you send us. The full service model would be additional $1,200 annually, regardless of how many pages. It allows you to set up either an annual, semi-annual, triannual, or quarterly supplements. You guys can flex and change that as you like. It does not include the electronic supplementation option, meaning in the past, we would say, here's your physical supplement. Do you also want a digital copy to add on to that, even though you can download from your code directly online and you can print directly from online? Some municipalities like that and said yes. That is no longer available under this option, but if you were to upgrade it to the full service schedule plan, it would be an additional $2,200 annually for your supplement costs. So keep in mind with that number compared to what you guys paid the last couple of years with American Legal for your supplementation process. It'd be 30 to 35 days turnaround time for your physical prints to be returned to you, 5 to 15 days for your online to be updated, and you have instant access to it. And then from there, it'd be considering what your online code hosting options would be. So in short, if you did the standard feature, which comes with quite a bit, and Steve, you can actually reference everybody down to supplement A, or excuse me, attachment A, the bottom of this proposal. On the old one, sorry, it's not on the new one. So on the old one, it shows everything. But that being said, you could reference the details of what's included. And then if you added any of the optional services, this would be either 450 annually, code bank, all the way through mini docs, with the exception of custom banner. Custom banners are $250 one-time fee. What that looks like is this. This is without the banner. This is with the banner. We can match and look the feel of your website for a branding perspective and go ahead and move from there, regardless of what you guys have, font, color, and choice. So branding perspective. But that being said, you guys can choose any of these options list at any time, take them away at any time, and that would be your annual, or you can bundle it up front for $11.95. And then that's what you'd be paying for your online code hosting fee. And then the supplementation, whatever you choose here, would be your annual supplementation fee, regardless of pages. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Tom, do you have any questions?
I think the self-service sounds slick.
And for what it's worth, if we need help, I would gladly volunteer to put in stuff, post March 2020 or whatever that date was from 2020. I'd be happy to help. We don't have a lot, so.
I don't
Yeah.
believe we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we're doing the self-serve, then you guys aren't proofreading or double checking any of our ordinances, JR, that's correct?
Correct. We give
Okay.
it back to you guys as full control when you null and void that supplementation fee. You still retain an account manager, so if you do run into issues, concerns, you are able to still reach out to us on that. But this is definitely the in-house do-it-yourself model that gives you that absolute control.
Generally speaking, if I'm wrong on this, Mr. Mayor, correct me. We'd still pass our resolutions by the eyes of Jen, and go through the office
Jen,
and city as
Caden,
well.
and yes, Jen, Caden, and MMIA at League Cities and Towns.
Yeah, so there'd be multiple sets of eyes on this before we get it
Correct.
to the council.
Okay.
The other thing I add, just for a peace of mind, again, under the MuniCode website, you don't have to do it right up front, but if ever the point comes across where you feel that you do need out of a legal review of your code, we do offer legal revisions to where we would comb through the whole entire code as it stands, provide you our feedback and update. Our legal team would work with your legal team and together rewrite and redraft what needs to be done, provide you the legal memorandum of our findings. Once those details are confirmed, then we can go ahead and send you the final edits, and then you guys could adopt it as such, and therefore you'll be back up to standing. Normally, under those circumstances, we'd offer the legal review consideration to consider it between 10 to 15 years on average, and or if you guys feel there's a concern of language, and or if there's anything that's not being upheld in a court of law that pertains to penalties and or fees or things of that nature. But again, you can do that service at any point in time at a later date, and it's found here again under the codification services. Click on recodification, and all the information is there for you as well when ready.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
If I second it, I can still ask more questions, right?
You can still ask more questions, Councilman. Yes.
I will second it.
I have a second from Councilman Merja.
So on this quote sheet, JR, it says the additional services, the Muni docs, post any other municipal documents in a fully searchable format, including minutes, agendas, resolutions, budgets, etc. So the only thing searchable in standard is our ordinances. Is
So that would look like with the ordinances, you could do that under the self-publishing. You wouldn't need the Muni docs for that. What I usually recommend Muni docs for: resolutions, public policies, details that are pertaining to the general public, that would be supportive content to what you guys do as a whole in your office, all the way through anything that deals and supports the code itself. So let me show you a quick example of that. We'll go back to College Place, Washington. So here, Muni docs can go with MuniCode Next and or self-publishing. It is its own service, but it ties in. So if I click on the Muni docs, and again, going back to dogs, the system's going to go ahead and browse with what they have set up. So I can look in their minutes, their plans, their resolutions, their policies, the list goes on. I can click here and Media Docs now opens up however they have it set up with the content. And we're able to browse quickly any supportive public content. And again, keyword, this is always public facing. So we would not recommend this service if you did not need any content that's supportive to your code for public facing content. Your ordinance itself in self-publishing can already be posted with that gavel that I showed you in the earlier screen. So here we go again, jump into the code. Gavel right here, all your supportive contents and information to the ordinance will go under this section, as well as some of your resolutions, as you can see here. And then you could also have edits and updates in real time, just like you can do with your general ordinances. And you'd be good to go. So this shows an amendment that's taken place. Here's the default. Here's the date of passage. And it would record all those details, and or you can revert that passage. So you have full control there.
Okay.
Rich, from the public standpoint?
What is it called? All Greek to me?
Well, yeah. But
So I'm gonna be really blunt. So we're paying you guys $1,200 to web host, basically.
In a sense, yeah. If you put it bluntly
Okay.
like that, yes, you're paying us to
Okay.
use our software system.
It's the web hosting, Stuart. I will, it is a little bit more.
Yeah.
More than that, because it is the codifying side of it as well.
Yeah.
Plus the
Right.
systems for approval and legislative management. So, I mean, we could, functionally on our website, I could build that system,
Right.
but
it-
not for
it's
$1,200
gonna
a
take
year.
you- Right.
Yeah.
There's no point reinventing the wheel though.
no.
Right.
And that's the concept.
Right.
How can we unclutter what you guys already have in place to help you work more collaboratively, getting the process and the information out to the public
Yep.
faster and simplified?
You like it? And Mel, you don't see any problems?
Don't see any problems. I actually think as far as transparency goes, that if you ever were able to be in a position where you could have your minutes and your resolutions and all that.
Do-
so that
yep.
it's searchable,
Yep.
that searchable is the key. That's what makes the
Yep.
MontanaNewspapers.com so cool.
It does, no doubt about it. It's searchable.
I don't have
And
any
that's
more
actually how when I first met the folks from Unicode at one of the early MMIA conferences. That's kind of what piqued my interest initially, was the searchability and the transparency on it. So
Okay, hearing no more, Councilwoman Kokoli?
No. So the motion is to sign a 3-year contract at $1,200 a year for the full service.
for-
It's
I
on-
propose for the self-publishing.
Self-publishing, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
with, and JR said we do have the option to upgrade that if we decide that self-publishing is just too much.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, JR.
Appreciate
we'll
you
get
guys'
this-
time.
Yep, we'll get this taken care of, get it signed and underway.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna log off. Have a wonderful
All
evening.
right.
Thank you again.
Thanks for stopping by, Jay. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Bye, guys.
Claims tonight? Any questions on the claims?
Nope.
I move approval of the claims.
All right, I had one from Councilman Howard.
He needs to speak up a little more.
I need a second
Second.
from Councilman D. Any questions on the bills, anyone? Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll pay the bills. Law enforcement, month of January was reports kind of slow. 60 calls, 3 traffic stops, no arrests. You can see city judge's report in here. He had 5 cases filed within the city. So again, not an overly heavy month for him as well. I did not get one from Jen. She was racked up this month and she apologized. Mike's Public Works. Again, we're doing good. They did have a water leak yesterday that, pardon the pun, sprung up. That required us to turn the water off over in your neck of the woods for a little bit of time, but they had it done relatively quickly. I apologize, the street's a mess with the change in the weather.
It's not that bad.
They will get over there and get that taken care of as soon as weather allows.
Well, and I did want to comment on that. A couple people reached out to City Hall about their water being off. And I just want to commend how it was handled. They were told, we apologize. It came up and we had to get to it right now. There wasn't time to notify people. We're sorry for any
Yeah.
inconvenience and we'll get it done quickly. And the two people that talked to me were they were okay with that. They were okay that we got it was an inconvenience and that we were apologetic and that it was handled quickly. They were just thankful that we.
And of course, it happened during the lunch hour when nobody was here. So
Mhm.
Mike called me while I was sitting at an unmentioned haystack fire and asked if I would put that on Facebook. Got it done. My Facebook Messenger popped up with a couple of people. I came down here, Jody, Brett, came back here. We had a couple of phone calls and it was handled pretty simple.
I do want to comment on that water leak. If you notice something in the street, tell the city. Because there was honestly a bulge in the street there a month ago. And then it went away. And I didn't say anything because it went away. So you
Yeah.
can blame me for the water problem there.
You send him the extra bill, Tom.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's just like, Mike can't be everywhere and the crew, they're out doing their job. They aren't necessarily noticing those things. They aren't noticing the differences. But we as citizens, we do, we drive those streets every day. And if something's different or something's weird, maybe we should speak up. I should have.
Yeah, and we did dig 150 feet up on the hill looking for leak in the water lines, and it was like digging in Africa. It was dusty,
Hmm.
it was dry,
Really?
it was nothing. Now, testing shows that there looks to be a leak in the small tank. But where that water is going, we don't know, and it's not a huge leak yet, but we've got the VFDs here now, and we're gonna do some running of some tests after hours. So expect to see our city crew guys out working in the middle of the night as they run water tests to see how much water we truly lose, because with the VFDs, we can bypass some stuff. Water losses are remaining high, but I was stunned when we went up there and looked at that. You were up there, looked at where they dug on that hillside, and it was literally kicking up dust.
Wow.
The line was not wet, the ground was bone dry. So Jody did finance, we did not get one from finance. They're fixing some stuff that we noticed was incorrectly done, and they will get caught up as well. Tom, nothing new on zoning and building?
Not for January, no.
No.
But they will be.
I can see that they got the foundations, the footings, forms up for the footings at the dollar store today when I came back to town. Councilman D, what do you got?
Just want to thank everyone who came out for the Super Bowl party for the chamber yesterday. That was awesome. It was a lot of fun. If you haven't paid your chamber membership, there's a handful of you left. Please do so as soon as possible. The visitchoteau.com website has a pretty up-to-date calendar for at least through the summer for events going on. There's a lot happening in Choteau in the next few months. I'm really excited for stuff starting to open up again and folks coming back to town and everything going like that. So take a look at that if you're curious about what's happening. Of course, the big one next March, this coming March, is the Wild Wings event that's scheduled for the end of March. And there's lots of details on the Choteau Wild Wings Facebook page and visitchoteau.com.
Councilman Merja.
Have you talked to the new business owner on Main Street?
The candy store?
Yes.
Yeah, I stopped in Sunday before I went to the Super Bowl party.
Cool.
Handed her a welcoming packet from the chamber.
Excellent, good.
Okay.
Other than that, I want to give props out to our wrestlers. We had a young wrestling team and they did well. They represented Choteau really well. And honestly, I'm looking forward to basketball tournaments this weekend.
Little guy wrestling Friday, Saturday here this weekend too. So they're.
Friday night now, Saturday is the show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
20 teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Friday night's little guy, Saturday Choteau duels with 20 teams.
And Saturday is volleyball tournaments as well. I think 8th grade is in Cut Bank, and it sounds like 7th grade is going to be in Rocky Boy.
Councilman Howard.
Firemen had their 5th annual Ice Golf Classic this past weekend. It was pretty good success. We didn't have many teams. We had lots of sponsors.
Well, the weather was so bad. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know. Everybody was doing something, sitting in the house or something. No, it was good. It's a good turnout. We were a little behind the gun this year getting it advertised, but it all went off good. The weather was excellent. This evening, 45 minutes, we're switching over engine 2 to engine 33. So engine 2 will be retired. I think we have a buyer for it already.
Excellent.
And then we do have a new extrication truck. We bought Fairfield's old one to upgrade ours, so we'll be selling that truck also. And I think there's a broker that's interested in that truck.
And as goofy as it sounds, you guys, our old equipment is new equipment for another volunteer fire department out there somewhere.
Yep.
So they will all find new, comfortable, very well appreciative homes. Anything else for us?
Other than that, no, I don't think that was it.
Councilwoman Kokoli, how's life treating you?
Good.
Your neighbors not bothering you?
No,
Okay.
all quiet in the neighborhood.
Here, it's pretty smoky though.
Yeah. Yes, it is. From the mayor's desk, it's been hectic here. Tom, Jody, Mike, kudos to those guys. They've been stepping and fetching quite rapidly here. They did an upgrade to Mike's computer today. So hopefully that will make things a little bit easier for him. We're reaching out to some other communities to find out what I can do for you guys as far as communication tablets, whether it's a tablet, whether it's a Chromebook, whether it's something, but we're reaching out to some other municipalities to find out what they're using. The last ones were 2 years old when we got them and they lasted about 2 years. So know that. We have the MMIA Executive Forum coming to Choteau on March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at the Stage Stop Inn. We had 46 rooms reserved for people and they're putting overflow into, we've given them the bed and breakfast and Airbnb numbers for the area and they're going to move the rest of them to Conrad up there. And other than that, we're open, up, running for business. A lot of folks coming in, a lot of new folks coming in, introducing themselves and meeting things. From a personal standpoint, I had my 1-year post-cancer PET scan and doctor's appointment today, and we're both clean. The doctor said, I'm halfway to what he would call being cured. I haven't, at the end of 2 years, he would say I'd be cured if I have not.
No.
See no signs or anything like that, but my PET scan day was absolutely clear. So good news. there.
Congratulations.
Great, thank you. So with that, Rich, do you have anything for the good of the order?
No, everything's going good.
Okay, we expect to see your letter for your
Yeah.
car shows.
Probably hopefully for the next meeting.
Okay. Mel, anything?
No, there will be a lot of things going on in Choteau over the next, starting in March. And it's flowing past that. We're going to be doing our visitor's guide again. So
Okay.
talking to local businesses about participating.
Okay.
And,
And I do my best daily to update our Facebook page, and I apologize if I get some of the games and stuff wrong, but I'm taking them off the school calendar, so if they change, the school doesn't get them updated. Yes, Councilman Merja.
I did have one more. I hesitate to even bring it up, but the Bears are already apparently active.
That's what I've heard.
So just be careful, you know. We don't have many bear encounters around here, but let's keep it that way.
Yep.
You know, let's continue to be careful and be aware.
And Chad White has reached out to the city and has brought some stuff over that I'll get on in front of you guys here in the not too distant future about
Okay.
some things for the city.
Okay,
All righty.
I think that's actually all I have.
Yes, Rich.
I had a,
Huh?
Skunks are out.
Skunks are out,
Smelled
yeah.
that yesterday, huh?
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys on
Jeff,
Facebook
one quick
land.
question. I apologize. I just, hopefully it's a really quick answer. I know it's been warm and I think that's been a blessing. Flooding compared to like, you know, your first year, your first term, how are we looking in the park? How are we looking? All
Spring-
that.
Spring Creek's been very good. We had a little bit of a buildup down below the park where the old Ford is by the, behind the weather beater and the,
Mhm.
but Mother Nature and took care of it. And we've had no, as far as I know, we've had very little water outside the street
Okay.
bank.
Awesome.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Thanks, everybody. Good night. We'll see you guys 1 March. Travel safe, Councilwoman Coley.